Hey guys, Coach Dan here. We have a busy day today, so getting a workout in between things. So just got to get in, get it done, make sure we're in good routines and keep smashing it out. So one thing I wanted to discuss today is a thought process I have surrounding weight loss or fat loss. So there's a particular thing that happens with pretty much any significant fat loss or weight loss goal is hunger. And people kind of get caught up with feeling hungry and how it's not very comfortable to feel hungry, so they really struggle with that. And I think one thing that's really helped me across time is the idea of being mindful surrounding it. So what I mean by that is, if you're hungry, you think about it from a different perspective, which is not you are hungry, it's you feel hungry. So you can disassociate yourself from that feeling, and this would be the same for anger or sadness or anything like that. You are not that feeling, you are just having that feeling. So you can kind of separate yourself and realize, oh, there is hunger. Yeah, it's not comfortable, but it's also not excruciatingly painful. If you are starving, you've probably set up your diet incorrectly. So if you're slightly hungry, that's kind of part and parcel with any fat loss or weight loss diet, is that you will be a little bit hungry from time to time because it's a signaling process from your body to say, you're not giving me enough. But we are intentionally doing that to lose fat or lose weight. So with that in mind, starvation is not what we want, or the feeling of, oh, I'm ravenous, I'm going to eat anything, I feel like shit, I just need to eat. That's not where we want to be, especially towards the start of a diet. As time goes on, or if you have a really serious goal to get really seriously lean, some of those sensations do kick in, but ultimately feeling slightly hungry is part of it. And when you feel those feelings, it's a matter of, or a strategy I've used is disassociating yourself from those feelings and going, it's not me who's hungry, I just feel hungry. There it is. Let's look at it and go, okay, well, it's not that bad. I've felt worse pain in my life. I can get through this pretty comfortably and kind of just move past it. So there are some other strategies like making sure your food choices are on point, you get enough protein, the calorie deficit is not so large that you are, ravenous. But even then, with all those boxes ticked, there's still some hunger that comes along with it. So disassociate yourself from the feeling of hunger and go, it's not me who's hungry, I'm just having a feeling, and that is hunger. It's over there. Is it bad? No, it's all right. It's pretty mild. Let's move past it. So that's essentially mindfulness. So it's a meditation practice basically, but applying it to this arena, which is cool. All right. Anyway, with all that jibber jabber out of the way, we got a push day, and we are going to start with a classic slight incline dumbbell bench press. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Let's go get it. Okay, exercise number 1. Now I've got this on my program as a low incline dumbbell bench press, but essentially what I've taken is a flat bench and I've put just a small, it's not small, it's a 20 kilo bumper plate, so it's decently thick. What's that, 10 centimeters or something like that? So what can happen with a standard flat dumbbell bench press is, because we tend to arch a lot when we do it, essentially we change that angle and we get into a position where it almost becomes a decline press. So I'm essentially calling this a low incline dumbbell bench press, but it's essentially a flat press, because even with that arch, me then bringing that up is just, again, bringing it to more like a horizontal pressing movement. Now, I could have used a incline bench, and I do that on my first pushing day of the week with the Smith machine, but the incline's quite significant. So this one here is essentially, this is essentially supposed to be a flat bench press, but because of I sort of arch when I go to press, it kind of, if I were to be on the flat, almost becomes that decline. So low incline kind of makes it flat. I'll take both dumbbells, place them on my lap when I'm ready to go, kick them back, straight into the slot, press. Control the way down, get that big deep stretch in the chest, which the dumbbells allows you to do. I think angle of elbow can be varied per person, so slightly tucked to more flared out, depending on what feels good for you. When you finish, you can kick them up or chuck them on the ground. Okay, so it has been a little while since I've done these, so I don't know what weight I'm going to use, so I'll take a couple of sets to build up to that. Some other things that I have mentioned before is, more recently I have been more prone to do machine-based movements, just because for me it allows me to push really close to failure without any technique issues or anything like that. But I had to go at these last week and they were quite fun, so we're going to smash them out and get into it. 3 sets, about 5 to 10 reps per set. Here we go. All right, dumbbell bench press. So I'm doing on just the smallest incline, it's just sitting on a plate. Felt good. So as far as stimulus goes, I feel my titties working pretty hard there, so I'm happy with that. I think the important thing to keep in mind with them is one of the main advantages of the dumbbell versus a bar is that we can kind of come down past the level of your body. So you may as well use that advantage. Get the big stretch if you like the barbell version as well. You can do both over the course of time. But I think one of the main benefits is, we can get that big baller stretch for the chest. Probably a downside is, a lack of stability. So they can go anywhere, the dumbbells, so you have to keep them rock solid. All right, sweet. No, but it felt good. That's fun. Can try and drive my numbers up on there. And that fun is important because it'll make you train harder, even if it's subconscious. Okay, we're going on to a machine next. A slightly high incline pin-loaded machine. See you there. Okay, next up, incline pin-loaded chest press. I'm taking a neutral grip, neutral meaning palms facing towards one another. So for me, the angle of this, I feel works pretty well. So it's not that an incline better works your upper chest, it just won't work your lower chest as well. Now for me, I kind of have this kind of more protruded lower chest, so I, in most exercise selection, it'll either be horizontal or incline for me, just to kind of avoid getting that any bigger and trying to kind of fill in this gap up here. That's a me thing. It's not that inclines are better for your upper chest. It's potentially that they just don't work your lower chest as well. And therefore, it's not getting this, but it's getting this equally as well as the flat stuff or the other stuff. So for me, that's kind of what I'm working for, is not to kind of develop that too much more and kind of fill this gap up here. So neutral grip, palms facing towards one another. I've found there's this out hand grip, but for me this is working pretty well. And essentially, we're using our chest to kind of pull our arm up in this direction and following the path of this pin-loaded machine. So this is a pretty interesting machine. It's a pretty high incline. Normally that wouldn't feel great for me, but it also comes across and converges as well. So kind of comes across in here, even though the incline's high. If you were just to press straight up, I would suspect that would be pretty shouldery, but this kind of converges as well. Okay, 2 sets here, up the rep range a bit, maybe 8 to 12. A couple of moments and then we'll be into it. Okay, so that is my incline pin-loaded chest press. Now, up for debate on this one. I'm not fully certain if this is this is the second time I've tried it. I'm not 100% convinced by it. It's not too bad, but there's a couple of things that I'm not a massive fan of. There are some other incline pressing machines here, but I've gone with this one because of the pin-loaded nature, which means the resistance is going to be similar throughout the movement. Some of the plate-loaded variations, they change resistance as they go, and I think the ones here, I don't think they're optimized for challenging the muscle in a stretch position. But there is one that's, maybe I should stop being a little bitch and give that a good crack at. And I don't have to be so anal about it. What I'm talking about is not conclusive. It's not like if it's not really hard in the stretch, you're fucked. Like if it's, a little bit further away, which one of them is. So maybe I'll stop being so pedantic. Anyway, not bad. I don't think it's worth giving in straight away there on this one and kind of packing it in. But yeah, it's a little bit wobbly. I think these arms work individually of each other, which, I don't know, it kind of, as you do this, it kind of wobbles a little bit. Again, I'm just a very pedantic. Anyway, all right, we're going fly next. Nothing wrong with flies. Let's go. All right, machine fly next. So some considerations with machine fly. We want this big stretch at the back. So most flies can adjust such that you can get a good range of motion. But again, you're not going past what you are capable of. You just get your big stretch. For every person, that's going to be a little bit different than the seat height. So again, we want to line the hands up with kind of the part of the chest that you want to focus on. So if I go real high, my arms will come down low, be more lower chesty. If I go real low, my arms sort of come up in this direction, potentially more upper chesty. So for me, this is kind of like, I want it to go kind of maybe horizontally directly or slightly up usually for me. So we can slide our hands up and down on the handle to kind of get that way. Big stretch. I like a soft elbow, lets my bicep chill out a little bit because it will be under a bit of tension, and we smashed them yesterday. So we're here, bring arms towards one another, squeeze your chest, control that out, focus on big stretch, and then repeat. This is a nice feeling machine, nice and smooth. Feels really good. So we are going 2 sets here. We're popping up that rep range a little bit, bumping up that rep range a little bit, about 10 to 15 reps per set here. 2 sets, and that'll do. All right, let's find our weight. Machine fly, nothing flashy about that one. Again, thinking about big stretch, soft elbow to let the bicep chill out a bit. So the bicep's actually a muscle that passes both the elbow and the shoulder. So when you take that back as well, we'll stretch. And that's why doing curls from this position is potentially a good thing, because we stretch that bicep out a little bit more. So, but in this one, we don't want it to be about the bicep. So we soften the elbow a little bit to let it chill and not stretch out as much. Get the big stretch through here, and then bring it all the way together. Nice, classic machine fly. Never disappoints, pretty much. All right, let's go into some shoulder exercises coming up. Next up, lying incline cable machine lateral raise. So a bit of a mouthful, a bit of a setup fuck around. I've got to bring a bench over here, put it on an incline, figure out what handle the thing is going to be, blah, 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 blah. But I like it. Get on the bench here and your body can't move because you're kind of locked into the bench. You're either standing and doing dumbbell lateral raises, and even if you think, oh, I'm keeping really diligent form here, often you can find yourself just swinging a little bit. Even if you're not intending to, that can often happen. So we get on a bench, just keeps us still, no cheating basically. So again, this is the second time I've done this at the new gym. I think I have now come to a setup that I'm pretty happy with. So I set the arm here such that my arm will be pulled slightly down into the side, over this side, get that big stretch through the lateral delt, and then I'll raise, and I'll raise directly from the point of that cable. So that's why it's important to set that height. So I've got my little wrist strap thingies for grip. I'll grab one side, grab the other side, lock in with those wrist straps, lie down, and then again, I'm just thinking about raising, going directly from the point of the cable machine and going in that direction. That kind of tells me where I need to go. So on the overall scale of things, I've only started doing this maybe the last 4 to 6 weeks. Really, really like it. Like how it's isolated, like how it keeps my form really strict, and it feels really effective. So I feel my deltoids get smashed after this. So big focus for me is the shoulders at the moment. So we're gonna do 5 sets here, 10 to 20 reps per set. So I like to keep these usually a little bit higher. Okay, let's get after set 1. Machine lateral raise? Machine cable lateral raise on this incline here. So pretty good. I like this one. Again, the bench just makes me not able to move my body at all, so my shoulders just have to do all the work. Again, just setting up the incline that works for you. I like to set it up such the bench and the cables kind of have my arm coming down and into this position to stretch my arm down in that path. You could have it up high and go kind of this way, anything like that. Whatever feels good for you, set it up that it feels effective for you. No right or wrong answers most of the time. But yeah, you could set up a little higher and then it would come across like this. That would be cool. lower, and we'll come even further into you. It's all good stuff. All right, that feels good. Let's move it on. I've got a shoulder press coming up next. Okay, after some deliberation, I'm going with my Smith machine shoulder press. I've done this not too much in times gone by. Some of the other shoulder press machines here, there's one, I do it on the other day, so I'm gonna use this on this day. Some of the ones I'm just not a massive fan of, the plate loaded ones and the resistance curves and stuff like that, I'm not a massive fan of. But with the Smith machine, the resistance is the same throughout. So it's just about my strength curve basically. So it's going to be equally hard down here where we want it hard as up here, which I mean, ultimately you'd want it a little bit lighter up here, but this is the best we can do. So considerations for this: hand position, bench position, all that kind of stuff. When you set it up, you want to make it such that the bar comes down right by your face. And when you've done that, you can be certain that you're not going to smack yourself in the face, because this doesn't move off of the rails. So that's always going to be consistent. So once you set it, you don't have to be worried about smacking your head. I like it just outside shoulder width grip, so my arm's coming down, and then I'm sort of punching my arm towards the side of my head. It could be anywhere from like your chin towards the back of your head, depending on what feels good for you. So I'll set a hand position that kind of has me angling my arm towards the side of my head. Feels good. This is a nice feeling Smith machine. I'm gonna do a top set because I like it. So a heavier set, 5 to 10, and I'll back it off for 2 sets of 10 to 15. So we'll find the weight for that and then we'll be on. All right, so that is the Smith machine shoulder press. Feels pretty good. I think something to keep in mind with something like this is not very customizable. Bars, as it is, it comes up and down. So if your hand position you don't like, you can't angle it. It's the way it is. So, but if you can get it right, that one felt pretty good. I did a heavy set because it's fun for me, and then a couple of lighter sets, which I quite like. So yeah, so it could be this, could be dumbbells. The machines that I could use on this day, I'm not super keen on, so let's do this for a little while at least. All right, tricep isolation, let's go. Next cab off the rank, cab, I don't know how that expression goes, is the overhead cable tricep extension. So a couple of considerations here is the attachment to use. So in times gone by, I've used a V-bar, rope. Straight bar feels pretty good today, so I'm going to go with the straight bar. And again, essentially what you're doing is you're taking it from here and putting it up here. So we get a big stretch to the tricep, especially the long head of the tricep. So the tricep has 3 essentially heads to the muscle, and one of them, the long head, actually comes in and attaches to the scapula. So raising your shoulder up like this just stretches it out that little bit more. So we go here, twist, bring it up overhead, get kind of a stable position, and we're up like that. So this could be done with a bar, dumbbells, anything. I feel best with the cable. That's what my instincts are saying, so I'm going to go with that. This feels a little bit better, feels more effective, whatever it might be. I've done this in times gone by, but new gym, don't know what the weight's going to be, so take a couple minutes and we'll build up to the weight and then we'll figure it out. So 10 to 15-ish reps, 5 sets of tricep isolation here coming up. And that's that, let's go. All right, so that's the overhead cable tricep extension. So some things to think about is kind of set this at a height and your body position such that we're making it hard at the beginning. So my shoulder mobility is not excellent to get right up here. I might be somewhere in here, but then I'll set the cable such that I'm kind of working directly against that resistance. So set that at a height, you don't have to be all the way at the ground, just high enough that you're not smashing into it each time. I went straight bar, but rope, like in curl bar with the little dingle, V bar, all is good. So yeah, but tricep training, potentially there is some merit to not only doing your standard like push downs in here, but up here because of the long head of the tricep and stretching that out. All right, let's move on. That is a wrap on the workout, guys, really fun. So again, during a fat loss phase, sometimes exercise can get a little bit tiresome and stuff like that. We can get a little bit hungry, but again, there are some methods that we can use to deal with that hunger. And you know, eating more food, but lower calorie food are good options, making sure your protein consumption is high, things like that. Choosing exercise intensity that doesn't make you feel too hungry. So if you do, you know, high intensity cardio like spin, but you get starving and that, you know, causes you to cheat on your diet, it would just be considering, like, if you absolutely love it, then, you know, there might be just something you have to deal with. If you don't love it, but you think you have to do it, you could also try something different, like walking or swimming or something like that, right? And then, yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of being mindful and going, like, I am not hungry. That doesn't define me as a person. I just have this feeling of hunger. Kind of separate yourself from that feeling. And then you can kind of go, well, actually, yeah, like I feel hungry, but ultimately it's not that powerful. It's just, you know, we kind of get caught up in it, or I'm not supposed to feel hungry, that's uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. But just like everything, it's just, yeah, separate it. It's over there. I have a feeling of hunger. It kind of subsides after a period of time. Look at it and go, well, that's not going to run me, that feeling. I have this goal and I have to overcome that feeling. So you consider it and kind of lessen its power just by kind of putting it out there and going, I feel hungry. It doesn't mean I am hungry. It's just a feeling for now. It will go away. So those are some good ideas. Keep following along, guys. We're smashing out this mini cut. So we carry on, tracking body weight each day. Again, it's a pretty aggressive short-term diet. This is not sustainable long-term. It's just meant to kind of open up more room. So for the back end of the year, I can continue to gain weight without gaining too much fat. So we drop a couple of kilos now, saves us some, you know, some work later on, as in having to diet more later on. All right, remember to do all the subscribing, watching the other videos, guys, liking, subscribing, sharing, all that kind of stuff. And remember, it's all about progress over perfection. Coach Dan, signing off.